Good morning. As you can see, we'll take a quick glance here. We moved the trailer. We redid some of the coop there. We got back late last night. Tried to put everybody away. Obviously, we missed a couple. There's a chicken and a turkey in the turkey pen. All the young chicks are here. We were concerned last night that the boys were counting them. They said they were 5. There are 6, so they're all here. All right, I'll get going and do my thing this morning, and thanks for coming along. had a little bit of rain last night, late last evening. Not enough to justify turning the dam back on. We're hoping to see some more rain in the next couple days. Let me pick you up here. I'll show you the river this morning. We're kind of going through a dry spot here. As you know, yesterday I shut the intake down, so closed the head gate so that we can't get water into the plant, so everything's not turning anymore, which means I can do a little bit of different maintenance to things. But with that, doing that, we don't make any money, so that's not a great thing. Just hit a little bit. We're continuing to keep the minimum flow that we're required to, and we're building up a little bit of water in the head pond, so that's a good thing. That's kind of what we wanted to happen. We go out around to the back and we'll check the tail race, and tail race is just where everything comes out of the dam, all the water. It comes out of the tubes. After it comes out of the turbines, it comes through the center of the turbines and then drops out. Got some when we cleaned out yesterday, moved everything around. We got a brand new. I scooped out the everything from inside the coop. That's a couple-year-old compost there. That's going to be some pretty good stuff come spring. We'll get it to put on some gardens, and there's some people that have asked about it. So, and I give it away. I don't care. Makes the ground grow better, or the grass grow better. Makes everything prettier. As you can see, here's our tail race. We have no water coming out of the tubes that go in. Those tubes, you can see the water swirl when the generators are running. They do introduce a lot of air into the river, which at this point doesn't need a whole lot because lots of rapids and lots of rocks and boulders and small, very small waterfalls that down through there. We'll get down to the river here. I'll give you a glance. Downstream, as you can see, lots of rock, lots of boulders. There's some more garbage in the river. One of the rafting groups that there were kayaking groups that are out there said that this river through here is a class 3 to class 5 rapids. Now they took that information from a picture that somebody took of them kayaking during a flood down the river. So take it for what it's worth. We know that this really is not even close to a 3 to 5 rapids. Difficulty here would be taking your kayak out of the water because it gets shallow. This section of the river right here is probably one of the deep points, because when they built the power dam, they had to excavate the rock underneath, and what it is what we ended up with. You can see the back of the structure. This brick building is the original structure, and you can see where underneath is where the water would drop down from the turbines. At that time, they've been redesigned. Different type of turbines are used now, more efficient, more effective. But the underneath is still there. They didn't rebuild that. All right, we're in the river, so we're going to walk back, get up at the top again. This point here is, let me swing you around again, is right behind the powerhouse. So you would come around the powerhouse this way, you would come down and use this as your portage for your kayaks. If you dare do so to destroy your kayak, you can do it right here. One of the things we had to do for licensing, because nobody knows what come down here and look. So that's our portage. These tomato plants right there are volunteer. That trailer sat over the top of them, and at some point a seed must have got in there, and now we have some tomato plants growing. I don't think that they'll produce anything this year. I don't think the season's going to be long enough for them, but we're going to let them grow and see what happens. You never know. And what are you looking at? Some of the young chicks looking at me like I'm nuts. Maybe I am. You can see in the back of the compost pile is it where the chickens have already started scratching. They will continue to scratch this pile and turn it. And so that's one of the advantages of, you want to keep your compost pile wet inside and keep the moisture in, so that your heat is distributed, so it makes everything fall down a little bit better. I'm going to try something. I don't know if it'll work, but I'm going to set you down here. We'll see what we'll sit you on the ground and see what the young chicks do. Maybe they'll come at you. Maybe they won't. There's one right there. Don't know. Yeah, you can see her. Roaming around. Here come a couple more. Those chickens are fascinated by this little wooded spot here. You can see there's one going, well, maybe you can't see it, but there was one that just went up through. There's a rock right here, and they go around all the way around that rock, and they kind of hang out in there all day long. They've got it cleared off and through here by scratching enough that it's pretty clear to walk through there. Of course, you know, the trees are growing up through this. We logged this about 6 years ago and really cleaned it out, and it's growing back pretty quick. And a lot of that is because we can get sunlight down to the bottom now, which helps everything. So as you can see, that trailer sat over about where the fence is. So we've reduced the size of the coop a little bit. We've got to do a little bit of cleaning up in there yet, but we reduced the size of the coop. They're out most of the time anyway, so and we're going to be reducing the size of the flock this year, simply because in the wintertime we're handling too many eggs. Sometimes we're even having to throw some out because they just get too old. So we're not going to do that. That's wasteful. We spent a lot of money on feed just to toss out the eggs. So we're going to reduce that down. We'll see where we end up next year. The turkeys are wanting to talk to you this morning. What? 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 Really? There's that chicken. Why the chicken's in there, I don't know. How the chicken got in there, I don't know. But I think she thinks she's a turkey. So as long as she likes it in there, she gets along with them. Nobody's trying to peck each other. We don't care. And soon, these turkeys will be opened up. I'll let them out into the roaming area, and we'll let them do their thing. They're only in the net right now to keep them contained a little bit, so they know this is a safe zone. This is where they should be. Nothing will happen in here. They'd like to get out now, obviously, but we just can't let that happen. All right, well, we're kind of getting along, so I'm going to go ahead and cut it off here this morning. You guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.